Jayalalitha urges Prime Minister to discourage Sri Lankan VIPs from visiting Tamil Nadu as it might create law and order problem. Will it be a summer worth regretting? TNEB sources mull increasing the duration of power cuts to 4 hours. There seems to be no end to the ongoing LPG tanker strike as another tri-party talks in Chennai continues as a futile exercise. More trouble for Sasikala's family as a fresh land grab case has been filed against M. Natarajan. Kollywood makes it a mark in the national awards. Vagai Sudava wins the best regional award and Aragar Sami in Gudurai grabbing the popular entertainment award. Hello and welcome to News Tonight with me Hariharan. While there are stories from Chennai like the failure of tri-party talks today and Jayalalitha urging the centre to voice against Sri Lanka in the UNHR Council, nationally the day buzzed with a lot of political twists and turns. To catch a glimpse of it, let's now take a look at the national headlines before we move on to our major stories. Too many leaders and the wrong choice of candidates cites them as reason for Congress loss in UP and Punjab. The assembly results will not affect the government at the centre. Manmohan will remain the Prime Minister, says Sonia. The Samajwadi Party's parliamentary board meets but there is still no decision on whether Akhilesh or his father Mulayam Singh will lead the state. Mayawati hands in a resignation but still battles the Samajwadi Party, who she insists will take UP a big step back. Air India pilots threaten to strike for the increase in salaries. And Bollywood actress Vidya Balan wins a prestigious national award for the Best Actress. And news in detail. While there are rumours floating around that India may support Sri Lanka and the resolutions to be passed in the Human Rights Council of the United Nations, Jayalalitha has penned another letter to the Prime Minister, this time in a much sterner tone, urging the centre to voice against Sri Lanka. The Chief Minister recalled the resolution in the Tamil Nadu Assembly which was unanimously passed, demanding an economic ban on Sri Lanka. The rumours are making rounds in media that India will support Sri Lanka in the resolution. Jayalalitha calls it worrisome and unfortunate. Thus, more and more pressure mounts at the Indian government. Which way will the Indian government act? We'll have to wait and watch. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha urged Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to discourage Sri Lankan VIPs from visiting Tamil Nadu, given the people's sentiments. In a letter to the Prime Minister, Jayalalitha said that the Union government must give permission to visits by the Sri Lankan VIPs only after consulting the Tamil Nadu government that has to provide them security. And in a letter to the Prime Minister, Jayalalitha said it would be appropriate that the government of Tamil Nadu is given prior intimation about the visits of Sri Lankan dignitaries, and it would also be appreciated if the government of India discourages such frequent visits to Tamil Nadu and allows such visits only after consulting the government of Tamil Nadu in future. With scorching summer around the corner and with the days already started to turn longer, there's another sad news for the people of Chennai. Our sources say that Chennai may be forced to sweat for more hours, as the electricity board is considering to increase the duration of power cuts in Chennai as it is unable to manage the scarcity of power. The shortage the state is facing is said to be 3,500 megawatt a day. To manage the situation, power cuts for 2 hours in Chennai and 8 hours in other districts were recently implemented. As the consumption has increased further with the onset of summer, further shortage is feared by the electricity board. To manage the situation, the electricity board has planned to implement additional hours of power cut in the city. Sources say that Chennai may have to sweat up to 4 hours till the power contributions from windmill comes. And the TNEB engineers met today to decide on what could be done to solve the power crisis. Let's listen into their suggestions.
TNEB is purchasing 68% of its requirement only from open market. The open market purchases are went up from 7 rupees to 15 rupees according to the needs of according to the demand of the electricity. And already the electricity board is suffering some 53,000 crore loss, and it cannot afford to take up this amount of cost of electricity. However, there is a possibility for procuring power at the rate of rupees 3 and below that. Even in Gujarat, it is ready to supply a cost below the 3 rupees and all. This amount is affordable for the electricity board also. But the problem is of bringing this power to the Tamil Nadu. The corridor problem is very much congestion. At least another 2000 megawatt is possible to be transmitted to the Tamil Nadu, and almost all the problem in the Tamil Nadu can be obviated.
Moving on, while the indefinite strike called by the tanker lorry associations placing various demands entered the 7th day, posing threats of LPG shortage in the state, there was another attempt made to bring the strike to an end today. Another round of tri-party talks took place in Chennai today, but the talks failed to arrive at any conclusions. Representatives from tanker lorry associations, officials from oil firms and civil supplies department officials took part in the discussions. The tri-party talks that began this evening ended with no conclusions. Sources say that the tri-party talks episode will continue tomorrow as well. It's to be recalled that the marathon tri-party discussions held last Saturday failed to bring the strike to an end.
LPG consumers will have to wait for another week if the talks between the oil companies and the LPG Tankers Association talks fail. Now the bottling units in Tamil Nadu are running short of the supplies and are not able to supply to the units. Now if this prevails, there will be a shortage of LPG gas and this will hit for 40 days. Now the demands of the LPG Tankers Association is to renew the particular contract that they are having right now and also to induct 500 more bullet lorry tankers for the service.
It seems like Sasikala's family's troubles are never ending as a fresh land grab charge has been filed against M. Natarajan, the husband of Sasikala, the former aide of Jayalalitha. This is the third case filed against Natarajan so far. While he has obtained bail in one of these cases, this case has been filed by Miss Angel, alleging grab of 800 square feet land in Villar village in Tanjavur district. M. Natarajan was arrested on the 18th of February and is languishing in jail since then. Tomorrow is the D-Day that puts to test the skills and preparations of over 8 lakh students of class 12 who are all set to take up the board examinations. The board exams that begins tomorrow ends on the 30th of this month. The Education Department has introduced a series of new methods, including secret codes in the answer sheets and mark sheets with candidates' photographs. Additional duration will be provided to the specially able candidates taking up the exams this year. Flying squads have been deployed to monitor the exams and to prevent malpractices. NDTV Hindu conveys its best wishes to the students for the exams ahead. All the best. Won't you be surprised if I say prisons across the state too have caught the exams fever along with the schools? The Education Department has made arrangements to quench the success thirst of ambitious prisoners who will take up the exams right being in the prisons. Prisons are just not to languish and suffer. One can taste success right being in prisons is the message the prisoners who are all set to take up the board exams give us. And now listen to the conversation our crime correspondent Salim had with the ADGP of prisons.
We are now joined by ADGP Prisons, Mr. Dogra. Sir, thank you for joining us, sir. Please tell us about the prisoners who will be taking up the plus 2 examinations tomorrow at the Pudal prison.
At Pudal, 33 prisoners will be writing the exam. Total actually in the state 37 were supposed to write. 2 of them have not come from Coimbatore. 33 will be writing in Pudal, which is going to act as the center for the whole state. But there are 2 prisoners who will be writing in Velur also, because they are death sentence prisoners, and as per rules we can't shift them out of the prison. So we have made special arrangements for them to write in Velur prison itself. And the government has borne the entire expenses of their writing the exams. The fees, examination fee and all other expenses are paid by the government. Till the 26th, these prisoners will be staying in Pudal and they'll write the exams.
The counselling has begun for TNPSC candidates. Unlike last time, the differently able candidates who were summoned for certificate verification are issued orders of allotment to various departments, that too of their choice, based on the marks secured by them through the counselling method at the TNPSC office in Chennai. For more on this, our reporter Salim spoke to the TNPSC chairman, Nataraj.
We came across many smiling faces at the counselling center, and now I am joined with Mr. R. Nataraj, Chairman, TNPSC, sir, thank you for joining us, sir. So, is this the first time that the Commission has notified such a large number of backlog vacancies?
No, in 2006, a small backlog of 50 was made and selection was made. But this is the first time when large number of vacancies, nearly 268, and we increased it to 321 because some more thing came subsequent. So now 321 vacancies. Then totally this was held last August, and totally 9,600 candidates appeared, and ultimately we shortlisted as per the communal rotation. And also there is a categorization for people visually impaired, the candidates the hearing impaired, and then ortho. So we have 3 categories. So we have got totally 321, out of which 94 are women. And this counseling system expedites the issue of the appointment letter, you know. Otherwise they have to go to their place and we correspond, and there is a delay up to 3 months. So that is avoided. And even that result, we expedited the result and ensured that it came on time. So it's really a good thing because these people, physically challenged people, it's a backlog vacancy. They have been denied for such a long time and they are getting it, and I'm sure they should be happy about it.
So in fact, after you took charge, the expectations of the candidates have gone up. Now, which is your priority? Declaring the results of examination which were already conducted, or issuing notifications for new examinations?
No, everything is a priority because ultimately we get good people for governance. Then all the schemes of the government gets expedited and it gets implemented properly. That's very important. So on the one hand, we are getting the notification for new posts for which I require particulars from the government. Earlier the attitude has been that the government does not furnish. So they were not proactively getting it. Now I am trying to proactively get the information from the government. I am sure I'll be able to get it. Maybe another 10-15 days I'll finalize the number of vacancies to be notified this year, and so that I have a scheme of examination, scheme of publication of result after due evaluation, everything transparent. So my plan is to complete the process for this year, say by September. By September I should have finished all the things except for the 3-tier examination, as I said, where you have the preliminary examination, then the main examination followed by interview. So 3-tier will take some more time, maybe a couple of months more. Otherwise, the rest of it, the single-tier and 2-tier examination should be, the result should be out by September. That is, and of course, we have the backlog where there has been some problem, some litigation, or the results not announced, kept pending. All those things I am trying to sort out and trying to. So this is running parallel. So the priority is for both. So it has to, because there are people who have appeared for the examination, waiting for the result, and they are, because they are at loose ends. So their future they have to plan. So I have to declare the result. So that's what I am doing now. I think that will be done now. Everything will be expedited.
On the eve of the Women's Day, Tamil Nadu government has constituted a new award which will be presented to an outstanding women achiever every year on the Women's Day on March 8th. The award will be constituted in the name of Tamil saint and poet Avayar, according to a statement issued by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. She has also extended her greetings to the women of the state on the eve of the Women's Day. More news and updates will follow at the other end of the break. Stay tuned.